crazy. This is a demonstration I'm going to do. She's not going to have the blindfold on because this is primarily for low vision, but it's always extremely important that you have contrast with individuals with low vision. And I also wanted to demonstrate, this kind of piggybacks off of the grid searches, because anytime you're putting on jewelry or anything that might bounce on a hard surface, it's better to do it over a soft surface or over a tray. And so this is like a placemat, a dark placemat that we're using, because in that way someone with low vision would actually be able to possibly see it a little bit better, but also just because if it's dropped, it's not going to bounce like it would bounce off the table. So anytime you're doing anything with you know, getting dressed or whatever, and you have personal items that you can lay out and do them on a darker or a contrasting surface that's not going to allow it to bounce, that's better. Also, anytime in cooking, you know, we're gonna show in just a few minutes, well, actually I have it right here, that you would put, if you got a white plate, you're going to put it on a dark surface, because anyone with low vision is going to be able to, you know, hopefully anticipate and at least have some type of vision as to where that plate is located. This plate is really good because it does have some surface, but it's not a different color. Like these plates that you have that are beautiful, but what can happen with individuals with low vision is they may think that part of this pattern is actually the food, and it gets very confusing. If they have any vision at all, it actually makes it very difficult for them. If you had dark plates, then you would want to use a light background, like a light tablecloth or a light placemat. So it's all about contrast with low vision. And so now we're going to let you put the blindfold on, and we're going to do some dining skills at the other end of the table. So I don't know what you want to do with her.
Should we cut it?
Okay. And that's okay, because you're just going to come over here. Probably making it worse. Okay. All right, now, whenever you're dining, and we talked about this, the main thing I think that's taught that is probably the most important is the clock, or the clockwise pattern whenever you're dining, and also just how to explore the table. So, Caroline, if you'll demonstrate how to cup your fingers and to explore the table, to explore the plates, and to locate where your glass is, where your silverware is, where your plate is, without you know, being too obvious. Okay, and actually you're going to do it more with kind of starting at the edge of the table, remember, and moving forward. Okay, and you can do it with both hands. Good. So you located your glass, you know where the plate is located, and again start at the edge. Always start at the edge, because that way you also know where the edge is so that it doesn't fall off, like you don't drop your fork off into the floor. Okay, so if you would remove the fork from the napkin and place the napkin in your lap. And you can put that down if you'd like, either way. Put the fork back down. Find the edge of the table. Okay, and now move up to place it. Okay. And so if you were actually dining, there are a few things that you could do. Do you remember I said you could use, there was something that you could use that is usually a food item on the table or on the plate.
Bread.
You could use bread. You can actually use your fork or your knife to locate. And you can actually also gently use your fingers to go around the side of the plate. And let's look at how you're holding the knife. Anytime you're holding a knife, remember you can feel, and there's on that bottom side, and yours are not quite so much that way, yours are almost identical on both sides, but a lot of knives have more of a curved ridge right here so that you know which side is the cutting side, okay? And then if you take your fork and you put it in you're right-handed, correct? Okay, so if you put it in your right hand, yes, you're demonstrating, you're not holding it back at the end like most people usually hold it, or people with vision. But if you have low vision or blindness, it's usually better to hold it a little bit closer to the tines, because then you have better control whenever you're eating, okay? And sitting up to eat is one of the things that people really struggle with when they have blindness or low vision. So learning how to locate that food, getting a good grip onto the food, and then being able to move it to your mouth without leaning over your plate is very important. One thing you can do is move the plate back a little, but again, you've got to know where that edge is. You've always got to know where that edge is. Okay, so pretending that you've taken a bite, put your fork down. You may put it down into the plate if you want to. Now go for your glass, go for your drinking glass without disturbing anything else. And again, you really need to start at the edge of the table. Okay, start at the edge and move. It is hard, it's harder than it looks, okay? And not so fast. Move and relax your hand more. Yeah. And this becomes with practice, and then you're gonna continue to keep your fingers on the table. You don't lift them up off the table. There you go, good. Okay, then you would drink and you would set it back down. You would approximate and know where to set it back down, which is, again, something else that's kind of hard to do. But practice one more time, just taking your finger at the edge and then locating, not moving your finger from the table. Good, yeah, that's better. And it's kind of a process, isn't it, of learning how to do that. Okay, the next thing we need to do, which we probably should have done in the living room, but I forgot, is to do trailing techniques. So we'll be back into the living room because we're gonna save the kitchen cleaning and the kitchen dishwashing for last, I think, unless I've forgotten something else. Okay, so we're gonna stop here. We'll go back into the living room. You can take the blindfold off.
Stop it.
It won't stop. No, what's happening?
Well, we can just go on in there.
You can always